So, I popped into High House Insurance to see if they could quote for my house insurance rather than using the internet. High House got a great deal. So to celebrate, I bought a posh hairdo. It made me look beautiful, gorgeous enough to become a highly paid model. I then won Celebrity Big Brother. I had an affair with an MP. Now I'm promoting a doll of me that says, "Cool blimey, you're well fit."
Happy things happen when you talk face-to-face with High House Insurance. See if we can beat your home insurance quote from the internet. Find us on the High Street, Selsey, or call 606 552.
Hello, Mary Kennedy here. Welcome to Selsey Internet Radio. In this week's programme, have you ever wondered how Snak Shak started? Hugh talks about its origins. Lynn's recipe this week is for an onion loaf, and Kylee finds out about the NCS courses. Giles is in the garden, and we finish with a thought for the day. But first, let's have a look at what's on in Selsey this week. The D-Day festival on the 1st of June is from 10:30 till 6 p.m. All sorts of exciting things on that day, and lots of posters up in town to tell you all about that. On the 2nd of June, Selsey Cinema Club will be showing 12 Years a Slave, details from the Town Hall. In preparation for its opening on the 14th of July, Selsey Community Nursery has 2 open sessions, 4 to 6 o'clock on the 5th of June and 10 to 12 on the 8th of June at the Selsey Centre. The 7th of June sees the start of the 5k race from East Beach from 10 o'clock in the morning. And Selsey Carers' next car boot sale is at the Academy on the 8th of June from 7:30, weather permitting of course. And an exciting event takes place at the Cricket Club in Paddock Lane on Sunday the 8th of June, a celebratory cricket day in Sir Patrick Moore's memory, with Selsey Cricket Club and Lushing's All-Stars competing for the Sir Patrick Moore Cup. Free admission and a great day out for all the family.
Hello, David Kennedy here with the Met Office forecast for Selsey. Wednesday 28th, light rain. Thursday 29th, cloudy. Friday the 30th, cloudy, and Saturday the 31st, sunny intervals. Now on to the road and traffic reports for the next 7 days. Beach Road will have temporary traffic lights while BT are clearing blockages to ducting. There will be carriageway patching in St Peter's Crescent, and then for the next 8 to 14 days, carriageway work will take place in the High Street, Church Road, Manor Road and Beach Road. And don't forget that the High Street will be closed for the D-Day parade on Sunday the 1st of June. Details are on the notice boards all round town. Thank you.
So now over to Hugh.
We're talking with Marjorie Graham, one of the founder members of the Snak Shak. Marjorie, tell me how the Snak Shak came into being.
Well, it started in 2005. There were 5 founder members who all belonged to local churches, and we'd all had children and grandchildren and were aware of the problems they had. Often nowhere for them to meet their friends in the evening, and they tended to gather in well-lit places like supermarket doorways, often in an intimidating way to older people and doing sort of silly antisocial things. And we decided to provide someone for them to meet, so we started in a rusty burger van in Budgeon's car park, and we were there until we obtained lottery funding from Awards for All. We rented and then moved into a warehouse in the High Street, which we refurbished and prepared as a youth drop-in for the youngsters. And we opened in March 2008.
This is the warehouse opposite National Westminster Bank?
That's right, yes. And also next door to the bank is next door to the cake shop, the bakers, where they supply us. They have supplied us with free cakes from the time we started. So there's always something free for any children who don't have money to spend.
All right, so how old are the kids who come, and what facilities do you provide at the Snak Shak?
Well, really it's a youth drop-in centre. It's not a youth club, because when we started there was a very good youth club at Manhood School, and that has since closed down. We're looking to the youngsters between 11 and 17, and we provide a comfortable, warm place for them to meet with their friends where it's safe, cheap food and drink, free cakes, And we have a few things like a football game and an air hockey table and 1 or 2 table games, but we're not actually a youth club. However, during the last 3 years, the West Sussex County Council have closed down their youth service and the youth wing has closed down, and we lost the youth workers who used to liaise with us about the youngsters who came to the Snak Shak.
Now, how did you overcome that problem?
Well, we decided that really things have changed a lot in the years since we opened in 2008 at the warehouse, and we decided that we had to really have a youth worker ourselves in order to find out what was happening with the youngsters and to liaise with the school more. So we then decided to raise funding to do that.
So you've now got a youth worker?
We've got a wonderful youth worker called Kylee.
Okay.
It took nearly a year to find her, and she relates really well to the youngsters and is doing brilliantly.
Are you funding her complete salary and cost?
No, we fund 20 hours of her salary, and Youthstream, another organisation, fund 10 hours. And we're hoping to consolidate the whole situation, but it's a continual fundraising operation.
How much does it cost? Or rather, how much money do you have to raise every year to maintain the Snak Shak facility?
Well, the rent and running costs are £12,500 a year.
Okay, and you have to raise all that money?
Yes, I raise that every year.
And so you raise it from local organisations and charities, or what?
Yes, charities, local organisations and businesses. Some businesses donate goods in kind. For example, they do building work for us or that sort of thing and don't charge for it. And then small donations from small fundraising events and local people too.
Because you get financial support from some of the local churches too, don't you?
Yes, from the local churches.
Okay. If there are people listening who are prepared to volunteer, what time commitment are we talking about?
Well, at the moment we've got over 20 volunteers, but often through ill health or people moving house, we become short of people again. So we're talking about 1.5 to 2 hour shifts on a Monday or Tuesday night.
And that's it?
That's it. They can choose to work with the youngsters.
And they don't have to work every week?
No, they can work alternate weeks if they want to, or they can work every week, and it's entirely up to them. They can choose to work in the kitchen if they want to stay in there, or they can be out in the main room where the youngsters are with the youth worker.
Right. Well, this is obviously very important youth work. What security do the youngsters have that this will continue?
Well, it really depends on our fundraising, continual fundraising, to show that there's a requirement for this. And I think we're showing that there is, because Kylee is liaising quite closely with the local academy and also with Selsey Works, who've opened recently. And we're trying to do a joined-up operation, really, under something called Selsey Youth Network. And that includes Snak Shak, Youthstream and Selsey Works.
Okay. So what security do you have on the premises?
Oh, we've just managed to negotiate a 10-year lease on our premises to secure the future of the Snak Shak. And rather like the Scouts, say for example, we're the one of the few people who've got our own permanent premises, and we wanted to ensure that that would continue.
Right. If people wish to volunteer to help, or maybe they could just come down and look and see what it's like?
Yes, we'd love to see them. We're very happy for people
So
to
who
come
do
in.
they call?
Well, they can either call me, Marjorie Graham, on 603156,
Yeah.
or Jerry and Margaret Smith on 607197.
Marjorie, thank you so much.
Thanks, Hugh. And let's listen to Lynn's recipe.
Right, we've got Lynn back talking to me, to hear Graham again. And this week we're going to go and talk about a cheese and onion loaf.
That's right, a little bit different this week. And
Okay.
last week we did the plain loaf, didn't we? Actually, in this cheese and onion loaf, we're even going to put golden syrup,
Okay.
which makes it quite different and quite delicious. You know, and it keeps very well as well. So
It
there
does,
we go.
yes.
So here we go then. And the ingredients for this one will make you 3 nice little loaves. So 40 grams or 2 ounces, if you like, of golden syrup, 50 grams of melted butter, 700 mils or 28 fluid ounces of warm milk, 20 grams, or if you like 1 ounce of fresh yeast, 500 grams, which is 16 ounces of plain flour, plus a little bit extra dusting, 500 grams of strong wholemeal flour, 20 grams of sea salt, 200 grams of vintage cheddar or red Leicester, yum yum, here we go again, 150 grams in small cubes and 50 grams grated, all right?
Yeah.
So leave a little over to grate. 1 medium-sized white onion, finely chopped. And here's your method. Stir the golden syrup and the melted butter into the warm milk until it's well combined, and crumble the yeast into a large bowl, then pour over the warm milk and stir until the yeast is dissolved.
Yeah.
Okay? Then you're going to add your remaining ingredients, including the cheese cubes and the raw onion, and mix it until a smooth dough forms. Cover the bowl with cling film and set it aside for about 5 minutes, all right?
Yeah.
Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured work surface and knead for 10 minutes or until you're smooth and elastic. Again, you're going to get that silky look.
Yeah.
Nice and smooth. Return the dough to the bowl, cover it with cling film, and start to prove it in a warm place for about 1 hour or until the dough has nearly doubled in size.
People who've never done this won't realise that this relatively small amount of dough at the bottom of the bowl will take it right over the top and will actually put a sort of meniscus on top of it.
Lovely big loaf out of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, smashing. Meanwhile, grease and flour 3 bread tins. Turn the dough onto a floured work surface again and knock it about a bit more. You remember we did this last week, knock the wind out again. And then again, prove it. Cover it with foil until it's doubled in size, about that again. Don't forget you need it in a nice warm place. You don't need to put it on a windowsill. We said that as well, didn't we? Keep it somewhere nice and warm. You can preheat your oven at this stage to 220 centigrade, 410 Fahrenheit, and that's a gas mark 7. And then using a sharp knife, slash the dough a few times and sprinkle the top of each load with the grated cheese and raw onion. Yummy. Place it in the oven immediately, and after 10 minutes, reduce the heat to 180 centigrade, 350 Fahrenheit, that's a gas mark 4. And then you're going to bake it for a further 30 minutes until the bread is nicely golden brown. Don't forget that to check if it's done, you can take it out of the tin and tap the bottom. If it sounds nice and hollow, it's done. If it doesn't and it sounds a bit dense, then put it back in the oven for a little while and leave the bread loaf to cool on a wire rack for at least 10 minutes. Okay, that's your cheese and onion loaf, and it sounds delicious. Yeah, it really does, doesn't it?
It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful.
Thanks a lot.
Great, I think I'll be trying that one, Lynn. Now Kylie is here to talk about the NCS courses.
I'm Kylie, I'm Selsey's youth worker. I'm here with James today. James is going to tell us a programme that's for 16 to 17 year olds. So, hello James.
Hello Kylie.
Would you like to tell me who you work for?
Yes, I work for a national government programme called NCS, National Citizen Service. And it's my responsibility to promote this national government programme to as many young people as possible. I work within Kent and Sussex, so any youth groups or any schools, colleges in the Chichester, Selsey, Bognor Regis area, I'm there promoting this fantastic offer for young people.
So this programme, how old do young people have to be?
They have to be 15 to 17 years old. That's year 11 and year 12 or first year of college. And so it is a small age range, and I get many young people coming up to me who are 18, really wanting to go on the programme, but unfortunately I have to give them a firm answer of no. But there are other opportunities to volunteer with the programme if you are 18 plus.
So what's the benefits of a young person getting involved?
Many. Where do I start, Kylie? Well, one of the main benefits is that you get to meet new people and have fun. So the first week of the programme is going away to an activity centre, and this summer they go away to Torquay and they spend a whole week full of climbing, canoeing, trekking, raft building, that sort of fun stuff. You get the idea. Mm-hmm. And then they're back home for the weekend, and then the second week they get to plan their own community project, and that's where it gets smart.
So how would they get on this programme?
Well, there are a number of ways to get involved. Either I attend an event and then they fill out what we call an expression of interest form, and then that means that we will contact them and then we can talk things through from there, such as dates, times, locations, things like that. Or they can phone a number, so pens and pads at the ready. It's 0800 027 9111. I repeat, that's 0800 027 9111.
So is it only open to school young people, or can anyone approach?
No, anyone who is in year 11, year 12, first year of college, that is between those ages of 15 to 17, can get involved in this program. They can be from pupil referral units, they can be out of school, anyone can get involved. And so that's the whole point of the program. It is an all-inclusive program regardless of your capabilities.
So how many spaces have you got available for this program?
Well, locally this summer there's 150 places available. So far I believe that we've only filled 70 to 80 of those places, so there's still a fair number of young people going on the program, but there are still places to fill.
Does anyone get refused?
No one gets refused. If we do get to 150 places, then we will try our utmost to try and get those young people onto the program locally, or there's other programs running around the Chichester area where we can possibly get them onto. It is an all-inclusive program. We don't want any limitations, and that includes the cost of the program, which is only £50 or less.
Wow.
Now, if a young person can't afford that £50, then there are bursaries that are easily available. So please don't let that put any young person off, because I think that personally it's a brilliant offer. 2 weeks away in the summer, you can go with your friends, all for less than £50, and that includes everything: food, accommodation, travel, everything.
When's the closing date?
The closing date will probably be at the end of June, okay? So there are places that are slowly being filled up, and like I said, that shouldn't put anyone off. There isn't any interview process or anything like that. Just give the number that I said earlier, and you can sign up right to the end of June.
What about for disabled young people?
Disabled young people, well, like I say, it is an all-inclusive program, so that does include children with special needs, or they're wheelchair bound, then that's not a problem. Of course, there may be some activities that unfortunately they can't take part in. However, certainly in the second week, they can, of course, plan their own community project.
Thanks, James. That's been brilliant. Just one more thing. When I heard about this programme, apparently you get a certificate from the Prime Minister?
That's right. Yeah, that's one detail that I didn't say. So after the 2 weeks away, they volunteer 30 hours towards their own community project, and then they get a signed certificate signed by the Prime Minister in a big grand evening ceremony, which of course can bode well for any future interviews that you go to, any examples of when young people are asked when have they worked as a team, when have they been a leader, then they can give very clear examples of when they've worked as a team, where they've been a leader as part of a national government programme, and also they can show them the signed certificate signed by the Prime Minister as well. So there are many advantages to the programme, so please, I encourage any young person who is aged 15 to 17 years old to phone this number, and I'll give it once more. It's 0800 027 9111. That's 0800 027 9111.
James, you've been great. Thanks ever so much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kylie. And Giles' gardening tips.
Good afternoon, Giles. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks. Nice to see you again, Hugh. And as always, you're looking very fit. It's still a good time to go out and about in dawn or evenings and listen to the bird chorus, because it's still very effective. And as I say, just to sit in a nice country place or in the dawn or the evening is so fulfilling.
Do you know where I go sometimes? I go down and sit in the Lich Gate at Church Norton.
Yeah, I know exactly where you mean.
It's beautiful down there.
Yeah, I know exactly where you mean. It's a lovely place to go as well.
Yeah, it is.
In fact, quite often near churches it's a nice place.
Yeah.
Because where I go quite often...
Because it's peaceful, isn't it?
It is.
And, well, I've got some of my relatives down there anyway.
Yeah, well, so that's another reason to go, yeah. And also I tend to like you, only I go to outside Siddlesham Church, but it's a similar scenario.
That's lovely, isn't it?
It's the same sort of thing as you've just said, It's really nice. Out and about on the hedgerows now, especially daisies, buttercups and dandelions are out in profusion. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like dandelions much, but out in the country I think they're nice to see.
Yeah, and they introduce a nice golden...
Yeah, exactly. I know they're a nuisance in the garden a bit, but no, they are nice to see.
Here, I was going to ask you, you know that you see these strange devices in television which apparently hoik a weed out. Are they any good? Do they work?
I wouldn't pay any money for any of them, no. Personally, no. I mean, a little, what I call a little scoop, if you like, whatever you want to call it, you can do it by hand just very easily. Or the other alternative to get big weeds out of a lawn, for example, is just get a little paintbrush and just put a little drop of weed killer into the centre of the weed. If it's big enough, I mean.
Really?
But all this business of, no, I wouldn't. I'm not saying they're no good, to be honest, I've not used them, so... But I'd be wary.
I looked at them and the price was extraordinary.
I know. Well, I'd be wary. That's all I'll say on it.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Having not used them, I can't really say. And the other thing is that the chestnuts now look like what I call giant Christmas trees because they got these lovely candles of flowers on.
Oh, yes, they are beautiful.
They really are nice. And also the lilacs are out now in full swing and they're filling the air with a lovely scent, as you know as well. Lilac scent is lovely.
It seems to me that the white lilac has more scent than the blue lilac.
I would say it has slightly more, not a lot, a little. Yeah. I'd agree with you probably. On that one.
Oh, it's truth, Charles. 2 agreements.
Yeah, we've had 2 in the space of 2 minutes. Keep weeds well under control now, very much now, because they will get rampant if they're not controlled now.
So, what sort of weed killer?
No, I don't recommend that at all unless it's on paths. You've got to do it by hand. You've got to do it the hard way.
What? You dig them out?
Dig them out. Dig them out with a hoe or whatever you want, trowel hoe, depending. No, I wouldn't recommend weed killer at all, not unless it's in a big space, a bath or something.
Okay, yeah, right, fine.
So we don't agree on that.
No, I was just wondering whether you did, because I wondered if you'd found some magical...
Oh, I see. No way.
Sort of selective weed killer.
No. It's the last chance now for anyone, if they want to do any reseeding or turfing of lawns.
Right.
This is the last chance saloon now to do it.
Right.
Otherwise you'll have to wait till the autumn.
Okay.
So it's no good doing it after that.
All right. If you're going to put turf in, I have got an old-fashioned turfing iron.
Right, yeah.
And I find that absolutely essential for if you're doing more than a square metre.
Yeah, you're right.
And it lifts it exactly the right amount.
Yeah,
now,
you're right.
What should you do? I've always watered the ground.
Yeah.
Well, I've got it absolutely soppy wet before I put the turf down.
Yeah.
And then I'll water it 2 days later.
Yeah.
How often should you water new turf?
Well, this weather, if it's in dry weather, I'd say probably every day.
Really? Okay.
Not a heavy water, I don't mean a drenching, but if it's a dry spell, I mean, but if it's like now, obviously if it's rain, then as and when.
Yeah, okay, fine.
But probably if it's a dry spell like we've had recently.
And when would you feed it?
Oh, not for quite a long time.
Okay.
Not for a while.
Yeah.
Probably not till late summer, stroke autumn even.
All right.
So, if it's a decent turf, I mean.
And if you put decent turf down,
if you water too early, you could do more harm than good. You see, not water, I mean feed.
Yeah.
So you were saying if you get a decent
turf, how long before the joins disappear?
Or should do it within the year.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, it should do it. Yeah, if it's been well done. I would suggest also that with general watering, I'm talking about now, not on the lawn, general garden watering, it's better to actually give what I call a deep watering once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Again, I mean in dry times, rather than what a lot of people do is go around quickly and sprinkle.
Yeah.
What I call a light watering.
Yeah.
1 or 2 deep waterings is a lot better.
We're very lucky here
Far
because
better.
I've never known there to be a hosepipe ban in this area.
No, not yet. If you want some tasty new potatoes very quickly, early ones to have nice for yourself, get an early variety of spud and harvest it as soon as the flowers begin to open.
Okay.
Another little thing which is interesting is eat sage in May and you'll live for an age.
Right, really?
Yeah. So get out and eat some sage.
Okay, yes. Well, maybe you and I have been eating sage for a long time then.
I said May. I should have said May and June.
Yeah.
Because we're into June, yeah.
Okay.
So you've been eating sage, I gather.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
All right, Giles, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Giles. Now we finish with a thought for the day. Thank you for listening.
How many appeals for money for very good causes do you encounter each day? You feel sad at the things people have to put up with in their day-to-day lives. You would like to put everything right for them, but how? £1, £2, £4 per month may not sound much, but it all adds up when there are so many charities to support. Then there is that guilty feeling that I am being hard-hearted when I refuse to give. Then I came upon this story in the book called Chicken Soup for the Soul, an American publication that collects stories from all sorts of people who have learned some lessons in life. This story gave me hope that even the smallest contribution in only one direction is worthwhile. It is entitled One at a Time, written by Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen. A friend of ours was walking down a deserted Mexican beach at sunset. As he walked along, he began to see another man in the distance. As he drew nearer, he noticed that the local native kept leaning down, picking something up and throwing it out into the water. Time and again he kept hurling things out into the ocean. As our friend approached even closer, he noticed that the man was picking up starfish that had been washed up on the beach and, one at a time, he was throwing them back into the water. Our friend was puzzled. He approached the man and said, "Good evening, friend. I was wondering what you are doing." "I'm throwing these starfish back into the ocean. You see, it's low tide right now, and all of these starfish have been washed up onto the shore. If I don't throw them back into the sea, they'll die up here from lack of oxygen." "I understand," my friend replied, "but there must be thousands of starfish on this beach. You can't possibly get to them, all of them. There are simply too many. And don't you realise this is probably happening on hundreds of beaches all up and down this coast? Can't you see that you can't possibly make a difference?" The local native smiled, bent down, picked up yet another starfish, and as he threw it back into the sea, he replied, "Made a difference to that one."